From his early youth, Hitler had been attracted to the narratives of old German legends, of course, the operas of the German composer Richard Wagner, and the grandiose musical universe that he generated, totally associated with ancient Nordic legends about the Holy Grail and other mythological themes, like the Ring of the Nibelungs. Since the 19th century, Germany has seen the emergence of associations that, like the Thule Society, mixed occultism with racist and pan-German ideas. It is known that senior Nazi commanders such as Heinrich Himmler, Richard Walter Dahr, Rudolf Hess, and Alfred Rosenberg had a great interest in the occult. Adolf Hitler's religious views have been the subject of extensive analysis and debate. He was fond of astrology, mythology, and medieval mysticism. On July 1, 1935, the Deutsches Ahnenerbe, or Study Society for the Ancient History of the Spirit, was born. For more practical purposes, we will call it Ahnenerbe, as it is popularly known. The purpose of this organization was to rediscover and give value to ancestral German traditions, with which Hitler wanted to give historical and cultural power to the country that he already governed by then. Furthermore, among the Ahnenerbe's priorities was ending Christianity and giving shape to a religion typical of Nazism. To do this, the organization had one of the greatest and best-known figures within Nazi occultism, the High Priest, Friedrich Hielscher. Although little is known about this master of the paranormal, research agrees that he was feared by all German officers. The person in charge of creating the Ahnenerbe was one of the members of the party obsessed with occultism, Heinrich Himmler, commander-in-chief of the Nazi SS. Himmler and his Nazi henchmen were obsessed with finding mythical objects such as Thor's hammer, the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, the Thuringian sword, or the Longinus spear, which, according to them, were related to the Aryan race. Nazism respected Buddhism, even allowing the first European Buddhist Congress to be held in 1933, and there was a colony of Buddhist monks in Germany. It is believed that this was due to the interest that Buddhism aroused among the Nazis, especially Tibetan Buddhism. On Himmler's orders, the Ahnenerbe organized 2 expeditions to the then-independent Tibet in 1931-1932, and in 1934-1936 under the direction of the biologist Ernst Schaffer. The Ahnenerbe also sponsored a 3rd expedition, 1938-1939, because they thought that the descendants of the ancient Aryans were not only found in Europe, but also in Asia, particularly Tibet. Hitler was diverted following a visit from the Man in the Green Gloves, a character known as I.T.T. Lincoln, an emissary from Tibet, but not precisely from the Kingdom of Agarthy, as Hitler assumed. Hitler was once the terrible Attila, according to members of a certain mystical order. In esoteric circles, there is great information about Adolf Hitler and his true purposes. He became a high initiate of the White Brotherhood, achieved considerable spiritual progress, and handled arcane secrets unknown to many. Hitler was truly an imposing guy, with a very powerful verb capable of moving entire masses in pursuit of his ideals. The Black Lodge was seduced by this man and wanted to recruit him into its ranks. For this, they sent a black emissary from the Dag Dugpas clan, the famous man with the green gloves, a true dark magician who poisoned his head, contaminating it. All the enlightenment I had achieved until then. This man with the green gloves confused him, instructed him to crystallize negatively. Without criteria, without awakened conscience, with fanaticism and self-importance, the values of being languish and conscience becomes mute. When this fails, there is no intuition, and one falls into error. Then Hitler entered the Black Path. Hitler believed in Nietzsche's Superman and searched the German people for the Aryan race, the race of supermen. He believed himself to be a prophet, but since he never managed to awaken conscience, he committed the worst atrocities remembered by our history. He preferred war, the path of violence to resolve the serious economic and political conflicts that the German people were going through in those times, he believed. That in Germany there was the super race of men that Nietzsche spoke so much about, that was his big mistake.